You're watching to see what you do next. Beyond Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland, beyond Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland, it's beyond Northern Ireland.
You're obviously still in school. What's school been like in this COVID world? How's it affected your learning and everything? Because we hear about it on the news, but since me and Matt are a good few years out of school now, we're just wondering how it is affecting young people like yourself.
Well, I mean, in terms of like actual COVID, I suppose, precautions and things, they're not really taken seriously. Like, we're only really expected to wear a mask in one classroom, and that's only because the teacher forces us to. We wear masks in the corridors and things like that, but even then, most people aren't wearing things like masks. In terms of like learning, I've only had to isolate once, and it was missing my Christmas tests. So I've had it kind of handy in terms of that, because I only missed really a week of school. So I haven't really been affected by losing it. But I know other people who have fallen behind because, they've tried to use Microsoft Teams and things like that to do lessons, but it's just not the same whenever you can just about hear the teacher and you're just about getting to engage. You can't really ask questions or things like that. And I've known other people who have said it's just not working. And I think there's too much uncertainty in terms of what we're being told. Like, we don't really know when we're going back, what the story is. Everyone else in the UK has decided to close. Down south has decided to close, and we've just been kind of strung up, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I assume also then there's also the issue of like there's an assumed kind of infrastructure part of it where people just assume that everyone can, do it from home, or that even that some schools are just instantaneously capable of broadcasting classes across the place.
Our school, the school I go to, is very lucky in the sense that everybody uses a device from first year up to seventh year. I only moved there from sixth year, so I just had to get myself an iPad. But I know in my old school that wouldn't have been possible for everybody, because we didn't use electronic devices in class ever. Whereas now I use an iPad for every class. But I don't really know if everybody is going to have the Wi-Fi and all the entire setup and being able to escape somewhere to be quiet so you can actually take part in, say, a history lesson. And I don't really know if it's viable. I think it's just kind of assumed, oh sure, everyone will take part, they'll find a way to do it somehow, but I don't really know if that's actually going to be possible.
Do you think Stormont has done enough for schools during these times and able to, for pupils to have good learning opportunities, or do you think it's been mishandled, just coming from a pupil's perspective?
I think we've been completely mishandled. We've kind of just been expected to just go along with it, go into school as normal as it will be any other year, except we can't really do as much. We can't do things like group work. We can't have after school, like, extracurriculars. We can take away all of the additional stuff, which, fair enough, yes, we can't have extracurriculars, it wouldn't be safe. But whereas everyone else has been cancelling exams and cutting them down, we've just been kind of thrown to the side and told, oh, at the end of the day you'll be sorted out, but we haven't really been given any kind of certainty the way the way schools have in England or in Wales or Scotland or down south. Like, they've all been told you're going back later or you're not going back and things like that, or even given an extended period so they can decide what to do. We're a week off actually going back, and we haven't been told what the story is.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, the English schools have only been told today, as of recording this, that they're being delayed back. And I think, Northern Ireland is the only jurisdiction that hasn't completely cancelled exams. Peter Weir has been very adamant that we have to keep them. And it's interesting to hear, actually, from yourself that, people just don't know what is happening. I know that there's some GCSE modules that have been reducing content, and the same for A levels. But I remember doing my exams and they're already hard enough. I can't even imagine what you guys are going through. So hard goes out to you, really does.
Yeah, and I suppose I do two languages. I do Irish and Spanish. And whereas the GCSE ones have been told, okay, you aren't doing orals, we've just been told that we're not getting an external examiner to do it, and it'll just be our teacher carrying it out, which our teachers are very against. They think the oral should be cancelled as well. So we're kind of hoping that the oral is cancelled, just mostly because it'll be easier for us. But it's kind of, we've just kind of been thrown and just been told, here, sort yourselves out. Like, we've been completely mishandled from kind of the start. We were one of the last to close schools in the first lockdown, and I can't really see any kind of upgrade in how they're handling it for this one.